Hello, good evening. Welcome to ITV News. This is Monday night's calendar, and here are tonight's main stories. American takeover. Sheffield United release a glitzy film to welcome a multi-million-pound US deal. 9 people have been arrested as police in Doncaster investigate a spate of shootings and arson attacks in the last 3 days. And really good idea, the water generator sparking interest and free Christmas lights in the Derbyshire Dales. So first tonight, a multi-million-pound early Christmas bonus for Blades fans as Sheffield United confirmed an American consortium is now in charge of the club. The announcement came this afternoon after months of speculation and negotiations dating back to the summer. Well, Arif Ahmed joins me in the studio now. And Arif, what does this now mean for the club?
Well, Ian, this is very much an early Christmas present for Sheffield United fans because this deal has been rumbling on in the background for more than 6 months now. But this lunchtime, the COH group fronted by Stephen Rosen and Elmi El Touki, we can see there in either side of the current chief exec, Stephen Bettis, they've purchased the club in a deal worth more than £100 million. Now, the deal includes the Bramall Lane ground, the adjoining hotel, the women's team, and the training ground. But in a statement released this lunchtime, they said that we are delighted and honoured to be the new owners and custodians of Sheffield United Football Club. We believe in this team, we believe in the club, and we believe in Sheffield.
So, Arif, what's been the reaction from fans?
Well, it's one of relief, really, Ian, because over the last 6 weeks or so, fans have heard rumours that this deal is close, and then they've been told that there's a hiccup, and then it's close again. So this will really be music to the ears of Sheffield United fans. I've been speaking to Hal from the Sheffield United Way podcast and YouTube channel, and he said more than anything else, all he wants are these owners to care about his football club.
Buy into the culture, the heritage, care about Sheffield United, care about Sheffield, the city, which is a magnificent city and my personal favourite on earth. Care about those things, and hopefully they don't just come in to try and sustain us maybe in the Premier League, which obviously would be great, but then just flip us for a huge profit. I want them to love Sheffield United as much as I do.
And what's the outgoing owner had to say about it all?
Well, Ian, Prince Abdullah's been involved for 11 years now with Sheffield United, so this club means a lot to him. He's overseen 2 promotions to the Premier League, but he says he leaves with mixed emotions, but more importantly, leaves the club in the strongest position it's ever been. And he's not wrong. The weekend's win sees them top of the championship table at Christmas, 3 points clear. And he tweeted this weekend, which he rarely does, to say that this win meant more to him than any other. And I think what's most important for Sheffield United fans is the timing of this sale. January transfer window is round the corner, and that will give an opportunity for manager Chris Wilder the chance to strengthen his team and the top of the championship where they want to stay, and that will ultimately, hopefully for them, lead to promotion to the Premier League.
Great. Arif, thank you very much indeed for bringing us up to date. Thank you. Also tonight, 9 people have been arrested as police in Doncaster investigate a spate of shootings and arson attacks. 7 separate incidents happened over 3 days. Detectives say they're working round the clock to bring all those responsible to justice. Katie Oscroft reports.
Well, the scene of the first incident is still behind a police cordon. Neighbours here in Bentley told me that they heard gunshots which sounded like fireworks out in the street at around 10 o'clock last night. This home was also firebombed, and a detailed search has been carried out during today with smoke damage and holes in the windows still clearly visible. Now, a few miles away in Ascot on Friday, the first incident during the morning, this home was subject to an arson attack, but then later that evening the same property apparently had a car driven into it. Now, there were 2 more incidents of arson in Ascot on that day, and then on Sunday there were 4 separate reports of gunshots being fired, including this one. Now, incredibly, there have been no reports of any injuries, but clearly this is a very worrying time for the communities around here. The police say that they are doing everything they can to stop this happening, and they are appealing for information. Katie Oscroft, ITV News, Doncaster.
Roadworks on a collapsed sewer in West Yorkshire, which businesses say have cost them thousands of pounds in lost trade, won't now be finished until the new year. The emergency repairs blocking Halifax Road between Hebden Bridge and Todmorden began over a week ago and were due to be finished by Christmas Eve. But Yorkshire Water said today that the work was more complex than expected. It's hoped the road can at least reopen with temporary traffic lights by January the 6th. A charity which offers support to families in Sheffield who are struggling to heat their homes says demand for its services is greater than ever. The Breakfast Club in Shirecliffe provides food, a hot drink and a clothing swap shop for those facing hardship during the winter months. Sally Simpson reports.
They're all mums working hard to provide for their children. As costs rise and temperatures plummet, making ends meet is a struggle. This weekly Breakfast Club is funded by a charity grant. For many, it's a lifeline.
We try to keep us warm, to keep our houses warm. Our kids, so we're sharing the stuff together. You know, it's very expensive outside. Yeah, so I feel like we're supporting each other with that. We can carry the load together.
I've got a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and I'm 24 weeks pregnant as well. So rather than going out and buying new or letting our children go without, then we've got things like this.
And the need for sessions like these is growing. Save the Children says it expects to see a surge in demand for its emergency grants this winter.
The demand is really high. We often have to do quite a lot of sort of swap shops and things like that, and we often have to provide sort of food parcels and things like that due to the sort of rising cost of living, and the families just can't keep up with it.
Brittany is one of those struggling to keep up as she tries to make a home for herself and her 4-year-old daughter. She helped set up the Breakfast Club 3 years ago, and it was there that she found so many others like her.
I didn't realise how many other young parents were struggling like I was, feeling kind of low and depressed and kind of alone. I'm really worried. My daughter's birthday is also in January, so it's like Christmas and her birthday, so I reckon these next 2 months are going to be quite a struggle, but I'll find my way through it.
Back at the Breakfast Club, they're learning to cut their cloth so they can all find their way through what's sure to be a difficult winter. Sally Simpson, ITV News, Sheffield.
Well, let's have some sport now and a roundup of the weekend's football.
Xero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Now, we've just heard about the takeover of Sheffield United, which will, of course, come as a welcome boost. Hot on their heels in the battle for promotion to the Premier League is Leeds United, who are making Ellen Road a fortress this season. And Michael Billington rounds up the weekend's winners.
Leeds United are keeping pace with table-topping Sheffield United in style. The Whites made light work of beating Oxford. On loan winger Manus Solomon set up 2 before getting on the scoresheet himself in a resounding 4-0 win. As head coach, Danny Rowell committed his future, short-term at least, to Sheffield Wednesday. His players showed exactly why he was right to reject moves away. Despite playing the majority of the game with 10 men, the Owls eased past Stoke. They're now 3 points off the playoff places. It's certainly the season to be jolly if you're a Huddersfield Town fan. The Terriers extended their unbeaten run to 11 games with victory over Cambridge. On loan striker Callum Marshall bagging a brace in a 4-0 win. Mansfield didn't want to miss out on that winning feeling. After a miserable month, the Stags finally picked up their first win in 7 after seeing off Rotherham. Doncaster Rovers midfielder Luke Molyneux might be on Santa's naughty list. As he fell over, he inadvertently, shall we say, pulled down defender Jordan Turnbull's shorts. As play continued, Patrick Kelly took full advantage and scored. The win takes Rovers back into the League 2 promotion places. And hot on their heels are Chesterfield. Armando Dobra's early strike the difference in their game with Wimbledon. That's now 3 wins on the bounce for the Spyrites. Michael Billington, ITV News.
Well, of course, it's Christmas Eve tomorrow. Kerry's with us in the studio. Now, Kerry, what a weekend. I had to travel up to the northeast to go and see some family members and drop off some presents this weekend. But it was so windy and wet, horrible driving conditions.
Yeah, Emily Moore on Saturday was 74 miles an hour. So that's pretty pretty hefty. They're all going to sort of like die down as we head into the next couple of days. Just a reminder that we're not going to get a white Christmas. We'd only need one single snowflake falling, but that was last year, which was our last white Christmas, and the last no-show was 2019. So what have we got? We've got high pressure, it's building, it's dragging in a tropical maritime air mass, so we're warm and we're quite cloudy. Thought I'd give you just a little outlook going towards the weekend. A lot of dry weather to come. Sunshine is the question. A lot of the winds much lighter, and then temperatures quite mild for Christmas Day itself on Wednesday, but back down to near normal. So everything's calming down, Ian.
Good. Are you excited?
Yeah, finally. I wasn't. It took me quite a while, didn't it, to get into the swing of things. But yes, it's Christmas Eve nearly, isn't it? So yes, I'm ready. I think I'm ready. You?
Yeah, and we'll be all right on Christmas Day, won't we? If we want to go out for a little stroll.
We'll be okay, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's mostly dry. I think disappointing. Nobody really I don't want a warm Christmas, but if you need to get out and about and travel, which lots of people do, all the way through this week, it should be okay. Yeah, you should be all right.
Right, see you for the forecast shortly. Thank you.
Of course.
Now, they're festive, they're pretty, but they cost the environment. And in fact, one Christmas tree lit up over the festive period could produce a huge 14 kilograms of carbon emissions. Q1 community in the Hope Valley, which has come up with an ingenious way of lighting theirs. Helen Steele has more.
To look at, they seem like your average village Christmas lights. But it's what you can hear that really matters.
So Andy, this is it. This is what powers your Christmas lights.
It is.
Tell me more.
So, this is the Mark II version.
What was Mark 1?
Mark 1 was very similar, but the wheel was made of push-bike wheels, washing up buckets and lots of cable ties.
Andy Nash has helped head up this project for 6 years. This year's wheel had help from a local nuclear energy company and can power Bradwell's lights every night from 3 p.m. till midnight.
And on the far side, you can't see, there's a chain that drives a hoverboard motor, and we use that in reverse to generate electricity.
And that's when it gets really complicated.
Yeah, that's where all the clever stuff happens.
Luckily, Andy has a clever neighbour.
So TJ, this looks fairly simple. This is a bit more complex, and this is where you come in, right?
Yes, partly. So the water wheel is connected to a generator which feeds the electricity into here through the bottom, which then charges this battery.
Essentially, TJ's involvement makes the lights flash.
And your background is in what?
Computer science at Sheffield.
So obviously this is what you had in mind when you did that.
Yeah, more or less.
Flashing lights, yeah?
Flashing lights.
Well, they certainly brighten up Christmas in Bradwell.
It's a great community project. The children love it. I think it's a great way of saving electricity.
A nice spectacle. It's nice. It's a sort of character of the village now.
Planning is key for all engineers.
Is it all working, Andy?
And the wheels are already in motion for next year's project. Helen Steele, ITV News in Bradwell.
It's all clever stuff, isn't it? Now then, let's get that weather forecast then from our Kerry.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, another mild one this year, and no show for the snow, unfortunately. It's mild and it's also cloudy. This morning there were a few breaks, a beautiful sunrise, but over the next few days sunshine is at a premium. Blustery over the hills as well, but I guess the silver lining is it's mostly dry with high pressure in charge or nearby. Overnight tonight we've had a front working from west to east, so generating a lot of clouds, some mist and murk, and certainly some dampness remaining over higher ground. If anything though, we start the night at around 5, we end the night in double figures. A very mild start as we head into Christmas Eve. A crescent moon for Christmas this year. A big thank you to Philip for this shot taken at 6:26 this morning, and there is sometimes as we head into tomorrow. So tomorrow, a bit of a cloudy, damp, misty, murky story for the first part of the morning. We are expecting a few breaks east of the Pennines, but if you catch some brighter breaks, you will be lucky. It's mostly dry, but certainly still some low cloud hanging over the hills and some dampness here. But check out the highs, 12 or 13 Celsius. Into Christmas Day, high pressure to the south, so some breezy conditions coming round, especially over the hills, but it's mostly dry, a bit of brightness and highs of 11 for Christmas Day.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Mild.
Mild,
yeah. Even Christmas Eve. It was 14.8 last Christmas Eve, so we'll be knocking on the door of that tomorrow.
Incredible, isn't it? I can't believe it's Christmas. Have a lovely Christmas.
You too, darling, you too.
Have a good evening. We'll see you at 10:15.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you too.